What does a family do when fame, fortune, and fierce rivalries threaten to tear them apart? What happens when the very foundation of their empire trembles under the weight of sisterly conflict? For Kris Jenner, the matriarch of America's most famous family, the answer was clear: escape to Wyoming, a windswept land of mountains, wide-open skis, and silence so deep it swallows the noise of Lowe's Angels drama. But could a trip to Wyoming really fix the sister drama that had been brewing inside the Kardashian-Jenner clan? Or was this simply Kris Jenner's boldest gamble yet? One last attempt to remind her daughters of the unity that built their empire. The plan began in whispers, the kind of hushed tones only Kris Jenner could orchestrate. She had watched the sisters, Kim, Kourtney, and Kris, spiral into bitter arguments. Cameras caught their heated exchanges, the slammed doors, the tear-streaked faces. Behind the glamour, behind the staged perfection, cracks were widening. To the public, it was a storyline. To Kris Jenner, it was personal. The family name was at stake. The brand she had built brick by brick through relentless vision and steel-like determination. A family divided could mean a dynasty undone. Wyoming seemed unlikely. The sisters were creatures of luxury, of Beverly Hills mansions, Balenciaga gowns, and Paris runways. But Kris Jenner saw Wyoming differently. She saw it as isolation, a reset, a landscape so raw it stripped away distractions. If the sisters could not reconcile in Beverly Hills, perhaps they could on horseback, riding under the endless Wyoming sky. It was a gamble soaked in symbolism, the wild frontier taming the wildest of family dramas. When Kris Jenner revealed her plan, the sisters reacted as expected: resistance. Kim Kardashian raised an eyebrow, questioning how Wyoming could possibly calm tempers sharpened by years of competition. Kourtney Kardashian rolled her eyes, convinced this was just another controlling move by their mother. Kris Kardashian laughed nervously, caught between loyalty and exhaustion. But Kris, with her signature calm yet unyielding tone, reminded them, "We built everything together. We can't afford to fall apart now." The trip began with tension. The private jet ride to Wyoming was thick with silence. No chatter, no sisterly laughter, just the hum of engines and the invisible walls built between them. Kris Jenner sat in the aisle seat, her eyes fixed ahead, silently rehearsing how she would manage this fragile experiment. She knew every move mattered. One wrong word, one spark, and the Wyoming trip would collapse before it even began. Landing in Jackson Hole, the sisters were greeted by a landscape unlike anything in Calabasas. Snow-dusted peaks loomed overhead, and the air carried the crisp bite of wilderness. Here, there were no paparazzi flashing bulbs, no red carpets demanding smiles. Just the raw, untamed earth. Kris Jenner knew this was her stage. The first days tested her plan. Horseback riding through vast valleys turned into silent treks, each sister lost in her thoughts. Around the fire pit at night, the flames flickered, but words between them barely did. Old grudges lingered: Kourtney's resentment of constant filming, Kim's relentless drive that often overshadowed her sisters, Kris's struggle to keep peace while battling her own private pain. Wyoming had stripped away the glitz, but it had not yet softened their edges. Kris Jenner, however, was relentless. She introduced team activities, urging the sisters to cook meals together, to hike trails where cell service faded to nothing, to face challenges where cooperation was the only way forward. Slowly, the cracks of laughter began to appear. A shared joke about muddy boots, a smile when Kris helped Kourtney over a fallen log, a moment when Kim admitted she admired Kourtney's stubborn independence even when it drove her mad. Wyoming was working its quiet magic. But the turning point came in an unexpected place, under the Wyoming night sky. One evening after dinner, Kris insisted they all sit outside, wrapped in blankets, to watch the stars. The silence stretched, broken only by the sound of wind sweeping across the plains. And then, almost without warning, the sisters began to talk. Kim admitted the crushing weight of being the face of their empire. Kooitni confessed her longing for a simpler life, one free of constant cameras. Khle spoke of her migraines, her struggles, and the pain of feeling caught in the middle. Under the vast Wyoming stars, the sisters were no longer celebrities. They were just family. Kris Jenner watched, silent, her heart pounding. This was what she had gambled everything for, not ratings, not brand deals, but the rare moment when her daughters remembered they were bound by blood before fame. The trip was not a cure-all. The sisters still argued. Old wounds didn't vanish overnight. But Wyoming planted something deeper, a reminder of connection. A reminder that beneath the drama, beneath the rivalries, they were a family that could survive storms. Kris Jenner returned to California knowing her plan had worked at least enough. She had reminded her daughters of their roots, of the bond that fame had nearly destroyed. Wyoming had been her gamble, her last card. And for now, the family empire held. For the cameras, the Wyoming trip would be edited into episodes. Laughter, tears, reconciliation under the stars. For the family, it was more than television. It was survival. And for Kris Jenner, it was proof once again that no one manages family drama quite like her. Because in the world of fame and fortune, when the empire trembles, there is only one matriarch who knows how to fix sister drama, with a plan as bold and unexpected as a family trip to Wyoming.